Hi everybody, Fran here at New Testament Explained. This video is the final video in my series on key themes in John's prologue, and this video is going to look at the themes of law, grace and truth. Now, references to law, grace and truth appear towards the end of John's prologue. For example, in verse 14 we get the glory of the one and only Son who came from the Father, full of grace and truth. And then in verses 16 and 17 we get, out of his fullness we have all received grace in place of grace already given, for the law was given through Moses, grace and truth came through Jesus Christ. If we start then with the law, so as a gift, God has already given the law, the Torah. However, what John is trying to get across in his prologue is that the law has been replaced by the grace and truth that comes through Jesus Christ. So there is a relationship between these three concepts of law, grace and truth. The reason why Jesus replaces the law is that he is the fulfillment of the law, and therefore he is the true revelation of God, not just a written copy. Looking then at the term grace, grace comes from the Greek word charis, and this term means God's favour. Consequently, God's grace cannot be earned. It is a gift from God. So it is something that God gives to us. We cannot go in pursuit of it. John 1:16 tells us that God's grace is freely given to all. In John's prologue, more specifically, what is made clear is that the gift God is giving us through his grace is the truth. We access God's grace through Jesus, who is the Logos, an embodiment of God. And finally, we've got the truth. Truth in the context of John's prologue means the reality. And the reality is that the law was given as a gift from God, but Jesus supersedes that law. Whereas the law gives moral demands, Jesus gives life. So this truth, this reality, is God's gift to us, and we access this truth through Jesus, who again is the Logos. At this point, I want to bring into the mix Mona Hooker's point of view. She is a scholar who addresses John's prologue in her book called Beginnings. Now, in her chapter on John's prologue, where she is talking about law, grace and truth, she refers to John's prologue as a gigantic takeover battle. And what Mona Hooker is trying to get across here goes as follows. The newcomers, who are Christians, are laying claim to everything within Judaism, which is considered the old. Their claim, i.e. the Christians' claim, is that God/Jesus intended for them to take over. Jews had been the caretakers, as she says, until the time was ripe for the newcomers to come in and take over. So again, this is her perspective on what John is getting across in his prologue, but it is relevant to the themes of law, grace and truth, and so I just want to interject it at this point. In terms of bringing this all together then, we've looked at the three terms separately, and as part of that we've naturally talked about the relationship between law, grace and truth, but this sentence is just a summary of how these three terms connect to each other in John's prologue. So in John's prologue, we get the following message. Through God's grace, which we access through Jesus, we learn the truth, and this truth supersedes God's earlier gift of the law. That then marks the end of my series on key themes in John's Gospel. Thank you for watching this video. Hopefully you've seen the videos leading up to this finale, and as always, if you've not already, subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching.